Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, The Gentleman Reviewer. As always, if you have not done so yet, right down in the bottom right hand corner there, you're going to see a subscribe button. Please hit that subscribe button and help support the channel that I've had going on for a little over a year now. And if you really like what I'm doing, you can hit the notifications button. It's just a little bell and you'll get notified every time I post a new video. I try to post at least once a week. I post a lot more frequently on my blog, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 times a week, so be sure to check that out as well. So this week I have the Northbooks journal. I can't say that out loud for some reason. I have the Northbooks journal to review for you. This is one that I was using for a couple of weeks, and then I got a Traveler's Company notebook, so I switched over to that for a little while for work. And then when I ran out of inserts for that in the middle of the COVID-19 shutdown, and I didn't really have a way to get more inserts, I went back to this. I also just can't leave journals unfinished, so I would have come back to it anyway. But you know, stuff happens. So the Northbooks journals are made right here in the USA and by a environmentally conscious company. So I always like supporting small businesses that are local, and I also really like supporting companies that are environmentally conscious. I really feel like companies that pay it forward to the environment are just awesome, and they're really mindful about what we have and making sure that we don't take too much of it. So these ones are at least 30% recycled paper, so nearly a third of your notebook will have already been used in some paper form or another. And it's just kind of cool to think about. This paper's already had a life before, and we're giving it new life here. So since this is a soft cover notebook, it's not one I would typically purchase. The last journal review I had was the Leuchtturm 1917, and while I did have some complaints about the paper quality, I definitely liked everything else about it, especially the hardcover. It's just when you're out and about and you're standing up and you don't have a clipboard, it's so much easier to use than anything else. So you're not having to deal with trying to find something like a hard surface to write on or anything like that. This has a Smith sewn binding. I don't really know what makes it Smith sewn, but I mean, you can see there, I wasn't able to find a lot of information on Smith sewn. So if you know, please comment below and please inform me and the other people who are watching this video so we can find out. But that binding is one that they did mention that you're going to have to break the binding in to where it will lay flat, and I never really got to that point. These ones are laying flat because you have a couple of perforated pages that you can tear out if you need to, but it was something that I just always had to fight. It was always kind of trying to close, and it just got really frustrating over time. So it comes in a variety of paper rulings. Naturally, I always go with dot grid. It's just my favorite, personal preference. I do like square ruling as well, but if I have the choice, I'm always going to get dotted. You can also get blank or ruled if that is your preference. Let's see. Sorry, I lost my place on my notes. It comes with only 144 pages or 72 sheets, and it's 90 GSM paper. So it's kind of like that happy medium of paper sizes. I feel like 100 isn't that nice middle ground. 120 tends to feel like cardstock. 80 can be too thin depending on the type of paper you're using, unless it's Tomo River, because that's just freaking awesome paper. They advertise that the paper is archival quality, so it's going to stay in good condition for years to come. You can put really important pieces on it, really important notes, and it's going to hold up for quite a while. You can see here all of the different pens that I use. I didn't use as much as I did on the Leuchtturm. You can see a couple fountain pen inks down here. Whenever I do an ink review, you can see right here that sorry, what am I saying? You can see right here that there's a couple other inks that I've used before. So, but you can also see on the back side there's some ghosting, some very slight bleed through, and then up here with some of the other notes that I've taken, there's some more bleed through. So here's all the different kinds of ballpoints and roller balls and just all the different kinds of pens that I have. And on the back of the page, you'll see that the markers really bled through. The fountain pens did have some ghosting with some almost bleed through right here. You've got like the Zebra R301 that is just so wet, it just destroys all the different kinds of papers that I use on it. But there's some pretty good ghosting on the back. Definitely not enough to make it problematic for writing on the other side. Occasionally I did find it to get to be problematic, but not horrid. Naturally, pencils do the best, so if that's all you're using, um, that'll work out well for you. As far as feedback while I was writing, I mean, the pages are pretty soft. They're pretty smooth when you're writing. Naturally, different size fountain pen nibs are going to have some problems. The finer you go, the scratchier they tend to be. But overall, the writing experience was pretty positive. Some of the Diplomat arrows, the Diplomat arrow seemed a little scratchy. I do have a fine nib on that. But I only have one gold nib fountain pen right now, the Lamy 2000, and that was slightly better. It's a little scratchy, a little bit of feedback, not as nice as like Tama River, but again, not a lot compares to that. Unfortunately, one thing I didn't like about it is it doesn't come with a notebook, or sorry, a bookmark. Just given that it's the bullet journal size, it's one that people would typically use for a bullet journal. I'm honestly surprised that it doesn't come with one. I would show you the first couple pages, but given this was a work notebook, it's one that I do have some phone numbers in, and I don't want those to get out on my social media channels. So it does not come with an index page. You're gonna have to make one your own if you're using it for a bullet journal. So overall, as far as a bullet journal goes, I think this would be a great first bullet journal, maybe one of the first ones that you try. If you have the ability to head into like Rhodia or Leuchtturm territory or something with Tama River, I would highly recommend doing that. And I would almost recommend that over any of the budget bullet journals that I've used on this blog before. If you like soft covers, I think you'll definitely like this one. There is no pocket at the back, so keep that in mind as well if that's something that you tend to use. So overall, I think that's all the features. I think I hit everything. Be sure to check out my written review so you see pictures of everything that I've done. And yeah, thanks for watching. One thing I did forget to mention, it costs about $9 for a pack of one, $16 for a pack of two, so somewhere between $8 and $9, but depending on how much you're spending. If you double that cost, you're gonna get a notebook that is significantly better quality, significantly better paper, one that's gonna hold up to your fountain pens quite a bit better, and just get a lot of bang for your buck. I mean, I definitely think it's a solid journal, but there's a couple things I didn't like about it. So maybe it's your first bullet journal if you try it out. But again, I'm just kind of rambling now. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you all next time. If you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button. See you all.